Yo, what's up guys? Dave here from DE Services and Dave's Wholesale Cabinets, and finally getting back to you here. And I apologize, I was trying to do this a couple of days ago, but just never got to it. So what we're gonna do is, you saw part one of my video. Now we're on to part two, and we're gonna change this bleeder here. We think that something might be wrong with it, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna just show you what I got here real quick. I actually purchased this steam valve. It's just an angle vent valve with the adjustment up on top, which is basically the exact same as this one here, as you can see. So we'll need that. We're also gonna need some Teflon tape and just a small flathead. All right, so let's go ahead and quickly change this. Let's see if I can just get a nice angle here for you. Apologize with the poor lighting, but okay, here we go. So you just unthread this, and it's not plugged up. You can you hear that? So it seems like it might be okay, but you know what? Since we got the new one, we're gonna change it anyway. So what we're gonna do, that's the new one. We got to put some Teflon tape on it, and then we're gonna adjust this. So when you put this Teflon tape on, you need to wrap it, if it's facing you, you need to wrap it clockwise. Otherwise, what happens is when you thread it in, it will, the Teflon tape will actually unthread. So once you get it started, you can go around a couple of times. Usually go around maybe like 4 or 5 times. It's really not too, it's just to seal the threads a little bit, so if some moisture gets up there, it doesn't leak out of the threads. But if you get too much moisture, it's going to shoot up the top here. All right, so once we get this in, I'm going to thread this on. Just make sure it's not. Just want to make sure it's not cross-threaded. And I think we can go around one more time. There we go. Yeah, you can see I didn't need any kind of wrench. You don't want to break that off in there. All right, so the old one, we're going to look at this here, and there's a little nub right there, and it's actually set to full open. So that's what we're going to set this one to, which pretty much it's just about at full open. So what we're going to do is loosen this ever so slightly, turn that there, and just a little tightness, not going crazy. All right, so that should be it. That should be all we have to do here, providing something may have been wrong with this old one. Like I said, it sounds pretty good. That's how it should sound. There's like a float in here, but we'll check it out. We're gonna go down in the basement now and see if this is all plugged up. So be back. All right, guys, we're downstairs here at the boiler, and yeah, it's an old one, but it works. I'll show you here. It was put in December 10th of 1985. That's when it was installed. When I moved in, I serviced it in December of 2003. I did like a full overhaul. Changed out all the burners, the low water cutoff. I changed out some of the parts in here. This was all cleaned out and changed. And then in October of this year, I just went through like a complete full cleaning. And I usually do the cleaning every year, but this time I actually just wrote it down. And you could just see I just wrote everything down in pencil here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through and just clean out this boiler. First thing we're going to do is drain it. So in order to do that, basically what we do is we come up to here, and we're going to flip the boiler switch off. All right, and we're going to open up the low water cutoff, and we're going to start to drain this water. Now we're going to drain this completely down right now because I want to clean up. Look at all of this sediment and everything else is kind of running down. I want to clean this up. This is actually pretty dirty compared to what I normally keep it. So we're going to let that run. We're going to sneak around here to the back, and we're going to open up this valve. This is the back valve. This will help drain it a little bit quicker. And what we basically do is we let these drain. The buckets will fill up, and what I'll do is I'll just walk over across the basement right here, and I dump them into the sump pit, and then it pumps it outside. So I don't have to go far. It's a nice easy way. So we're just letting this drain down, and you can see all the water's out of the tube already. So what'll happen is this drain is going to stop, and you can see it's slowing down. This is going to stop well before that one. We'll probably get out of the back one, we'll probably get maybe 2 full buckets, maybe 2.5 buckets out of that one. So now you can see the front one's already stopped, and you know, we'll just wait for the back one. But as we're waiting, well, you know what, it's about 3/4, so we'll wait for this one to get to the top, and then we'll shut it off, dump it, and then we'll what do you call it, we'll start with doing what we have to do, so we don't have to waste too much time here. You see that's still got a nice pretty steady flow. So if you guys didn't know, I mean, my basement, my house is basically from the 1890s, the original part. The spot that I'm sitting in now is an addition. It's definitely not watertight, that's for sure. And it was built sometime in the 40s by shoemaker carpenters. Probably like Farmer Joe or somebody, his friends that were all drunk with no levels. But we're making it, you know, to what it is. So give me a minute, I'm going to dump this, and then we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. We dumped the first bucket. We're going to open this up again. Let that continue to drain. And what we're going to do here is just get this set up close here. Get this all set for you. Okay, hope that's close enough for you. Okay, that should be pretty good for now. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull these out. And very carefully, we're going to loosen this up. Okay. So we're gonna try to unthread this all the way, get that out to the bottom one. Okay. So this tube is just long enough to get out of here and get in. Let me show you this. You can see how kind of nasty this is. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take this over to the workbench here and move our gun mat so we don't get that all nasty. And what we're gonna do is just use some WD-40. And I'm just gonna kind of spray this down. WD-40 is just going to be to just to clean it. That's all it's for. It'll take all of this junk off. It's going to also take the writing off, but we'll redo that. So, okay. All right. All right. Now, you could use something to get this out. I usually, what I do is I usually come over here and I grab a couple of these, my gun patch cleaners, and I'll literally just get some WD on here. Almost like cleaning a gun. And just push it through. Comes out. You can go back through again. Okay. You want to double it up. You know, double it, triple it, quadruple it, whatever works. There we go. Okay, so we're getting that nice and clean. It's basically almost like brand new glass. There Man, that's definitely doesn't want to come off there. So, no, it's okay. We'll leave that on there. All right, so you know, we'll run just like a gun. You'll run some dry patches through as well. Get that clean inside as best you can, and you can see it's pretty clean. Just the exception of this part here where it was just dripping down. I probably could use something else to clean it, but not too worried about it. I think that's good. Just put it in like that, and we'll be good to go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to set this here and leave it on the workbench so it doesn't roll off and break away. So, and we'll just take one of our patches, and we'll just take a look at some of this stuff and just try to clean it up a little bit. Yeah, see all of that crap? Okay. Yeah, see that? Okay. Actually, don't look too bad. All right, so yeah, look here. We're all done draining. We got 2 buckets, and I think we're good to go. What we're going to do next, since the boiler is completely drained, we're going to go and I'm going to try to set this up here. I don't know how the heck I'm going to do it, but we have a low drain. So what happens is this is drained down. This boiler is drained down to pretty much right here, which is empty, but the pipe that runs across the back here still has water in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up that union and drain the rest of this crappy water out of here, and hopefully everything comes out good and nothing breaks. So I'll be back in a minute to get set up, and we're going to see if we can open this. So let's see what we can do here. Oh man. Ooh, that's a tight one. Okay. swear they put this in the worst spot. Oh my god. I think we got it. Okay. Alright, so see how she's leaking already? What we're gonna do is let me just get these wrenches out of here. What we're gonna do is put this bucket under here, and we're gonna open this up, but there's gonna be water that kind of comes out. I need the wrench. Okay. All right, here we go. A lot of times what happens is because this is a low point, there's a lot of crud that gets in here, and you kind of got to get this out. There we go. See all that nasty water? It's probably all rusty chunks in there, sludge from the old pipes, original from the house. So what I like to do is drain that out, and see, it's just crap in here. And then what that does is that just assures me that there's no more water in the line. So when we fill up this boiler, there'll be fresh water that comes. Let me try to show you here. There'll be fresh water that comes in, you know, like you'll basically have, after you fill this up, your water level will be at like right here. So you'll have water in the whole boiler up to that level. You know, and you're looking at, you know, there'll be water up to here. Okay, so what'll happen is, if it's not, when the radiators drain down after they cool down and they condensate and they drain down, you know, all that water is supposed to come back into here and eventually make its way back into the boiler if it can. And if it doesn't, if it gets trapped, the water gets too high, you'll start pushing water up into the radiators, which for a steam heat system, it's not what you want to do. It's not set up as hot water baseboard. So all right, we're pretty much drained down. I'm going to reconnect this. So this isn't super critical as far as being completely empty. So I'm just gonna get this tightened back up, and I'll show you after I get this done. I want to see that little nasty rusty water. Okay. All right. Yeah, we're good there. Okay. Just take this gloves off real quick. I'll show you. Yeah, see all of that? Okay, so that's good. All right. So what we'll do now is now we'll put this back. I got a couple of new parts for that. So let me just push this out of the way. I'll move my trusty prop here, and let's set that up, and I'll get what we need to get. All right, so basically What I did was I have the old nuts, which we're gonna pop out these old washers because this is what I bought, and it has new brass in here and the rubber washers, which is a good thing. So we're gonna pop these out. Let me just walk over here real quick to get one more glove and just to get a flathead screwdriver. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. We'll just use that one. Alrighty, here we go. All right. So what we'll do real quick is gonna be we're gonna pop these rubbers out and see. I don't even know if this was ever changed before, guys. So this, oh yeah, here it is. I was gonna say it doesn't. They didn't even put the ring in, but there is. It's here. I don't know if you can see that. Right now. Sorry, guys. It's not easy to do. Okay. All right. Let's get that out if we can. Oh, this one's in there. Okay. Yeah, of course it's going to give me an issue. Alright, I'll be back, guys. I'm going to put this into the vise. Alright, guys, sorry. Had to put that into the vise and had to get it out of there. It was pretty frozen in there. What I'm doing right now is I'm just taking the screwdriver just to get some of this rusty junk out. Man. Yeah, you can kind of... So the rust on this is not, it's not from the nut and it's not from the washer because both are brass. This is just the buildup of the crap that was in here. So you can see, look at all that junk out of there. That's what's in there. Kind of hard to see, but right there. Just trying to get that crap out. Okay. And pretty clear now. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. So what we're going to do is we open up our package here, and all we're going to do is inside the nut we're going to put the brass washer like so. Take the rubber, put the rubber in there, and get this. Looks like we got to get it on there because otherwise it's not going to fit. So we get this on there just like so. All right. So here we go. One more time. We get the brass. Put this in. That's in. We'll slide that on. Put this on here, and we're good to go. All right. So let's go back to the boiler. And now we'll put this on. I just want to get you set up here again. Okay. All right. Okay. So top goes in, then down, and you just slide and turn hand threads. Okay. You're gonna just hand thread everything. You do not want to You do not want to crank this down super hard, so try to get everything hand tight. And after you get it hand tight, you're going to put a little bit on it with the channel locks, but you got to be careful, because if you go too hard, you're going to crack the glass. So, all right, that's about a half a turn. Okay. Yeah, that one's a little bit more. So, yeah, this one's going a little more because I couldn't get it tight enough with my hand. And there we go. Okay. Should be good there. Make sure you put these rods back in. This basically will protect the glass if something was to potentially fall into it, especially from the sides. It won't break the glass. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is what I always do is, when I had the guy, the boiler guy, rebuild this when I first moved in, he put the water level line on here. I just like to make it a little easier, so I just kind of eye it up, and then I put a nice line on it like this. And basically, the reason why I do that, and I pretty much go around the whole thing, is if I'm ever away and I have to call my wife to tell her to add water to the boiler, she knows what to do. She knows where, or not what to do, but she knows where to put it to the water level. So, because it's, you know, when you're filling it, let me show you. When you fill it, you're filling it over here by pushing this, but your view while you're pushing it is right here. So this is your view. So you see that, but you can't see this, because when you look, you're looking from this side. That's what you see. All right. So now that we got that in, that's done. That's tight. This is in. That's tight. We're going to close our front valve, and we're going to go to the back and close our back valve, and we are going to fill. Now watch that. See how I pushed this? I pushed the button on the filler, and it didn't work. That's because we got to turn the switch on. So we're back up here. Flip the switch, and you can see the boiler wants to go on already, but there's nothing in it. So we're gonna fill it up real quick. That means the thermostat upstairs was calling for heat, but the power was off, so we're gonna want to get some water in this thing right away, which it will. Nothing's hot, so you don't have to worry about what do you call it, like cracking the cast iron right now. But what happens is if you need to add water and you're in the middle of a heat cycle or something like that, you got to wait a little bit until the boiler cools down, because you're introducing cold water into the boiler, and it's a possibility that you could crack it. So not too sure how many gallons are in here. If I was to guess based on what I emptied, I'm going to say, let's see, that was probably 2, 4, 5, there's probably about six or 7 gallons. Well, 7 probably from in there. Yeah, probably with that low water, you know, in the pipes over here, I think we probably got somewhere around 7 or 8 gallons, I'm guessing. I'm sure, you know, if there was a book for this somewhere, it would say it in the manufacturer specs, but, you know, like I said, this thing's from the 85, so I don't have anything from when I moved in. So we're just waiting, you know, for the water to add up, you know, to get up this line here, and you know, you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but I get you in there. Yeah, I don't know if you could see that. I can't. I don't want to let go of this water valve. So we'll continue to fill. All right, I can start to see water coming up here. There it goes. Nice there. See right here, you see how it's not moving? It's not moving because what it's doing now is it's filling up those other pipes that we drained, which were the pipes back here. So the water's coming back. It came up to as high as it could come into the boiler, and now it's right here in that T, and it's running down, filling up these pipes until it gets back up to this height, and then it'll fill up the rest of the way. So water, you know, water finds its own level, guys. So you know, it's gonna go to the lowest point. Here it goes. So now we're coming back up. Let me get you a little closer here. We're almost there. Like another 20 seconds, maybe. Okay, that's it. So while she's, you know, that's our water level line right now, and that's what we always try to keep it at. When she's operating, she's going to fluctuate, you know, in here a little bit, you know, basically that's all we got to do. So we clean this out, and I usually do this probably like once a, you know, I do this in the beginning of the season all the time, and then I do it at the end of the year, but I also do it at least once mid-season. I try to do a lot of maintenance on this boiler because it's old, and I found that if I take care of it, hopefully it'll last, you know. So that's it. We'll move my my trusty spackle bucket props out of the way, and oh man, okay, and you can see in there, you see that? So she's cooking pretty good. It's gonna take a while because it's got to boil it up. Actually, that pipe is actually getting warm already, but you know, we will see, and we'll see what this sounds like in a little while when we go upstairs. All right, guys, we're back here upstairs in the kitchen, and I just wanted to kind of show you this. I know you can't feel it, but we're pretty warm on the radiator. Probably yeah, we're good on like the first two, and just working on the third. And I don't know if you can hear it. It's breathing out of there pretty good. So looks good. Yeah, we got some heat upstairs. Let's go take a quick walk upstairs and see how that sounds. Wondering what I'm doing. Okay, so let's listen to this, see how this sounds here, because this is the one that was banging, if you remember. Yeah, so we got some heat coming up. know if you can hear that. Very low whistle, which is good. So remember the other day, you know, when it was 5 o'clock in the morning, that thing was banging like somebody was whacking it with a hammer. That's what it was doing up here. I couldn't show you up here, but I was showing you downstairs off the pipe. But you know, it was doing that, and basically you know, it wasn't getting hot. I mean, it was getting hot, but it was taking a very long time because the steam had to fight the water that was in there. But this is getting, I mean, that's hot. That's hot. This is getting hot. And what it does is the steam will come up, it'll rise, you know, it'll go through here too, of course. See, like the bottom of the radiator is hot all the way across, like that's hot. And it's going to raise up, and then it'll radiate out the top. This is working perfect. Sounds pretty good. I really can't complain for, you know, an 1890s home, and I think we're in good shape, guys. I don't think I need to show you anymore. If I have any issues with it, I'll let you know. But I also wanted to point out one thing, because this, when I moved in, I had to redo this, all these radiators over again. But not what you think, like replacing the radiators. Basically, what you need to do with these radiators is wherever the valve is, that valve, it needs to pitch to the valve. So what you need to do is, like what I have here, is I shimmed up the radiator. And you know, plumbing, it's usually you run it about a, you know, you raise it about 1/4 inch every foot, and that's usually sufficient. So you know, this one's roughly about anywhere from, I don't know, 5/8 high, maybe 3/4 high, and you know, it's pretty good. So everything, when this condensates and it drains, everything will drain here and go down the pipe, back down into the basement, and eventually into those low lines. And sometimes that's why it gets clogged up, but I guess that might be what that's for. So we just got to keep draining it every once in a while. But like I said, that's it. It's good. It's getting hot. See, the top is real hot right up to, you know, what are we in, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're like the 7th, 8th one in now. Yeah, so it's working. It's working over. So we're good. So any questions, hit me up in the comments, and I'll try to answer them, you know, as soon as I can. If you like this video, please subscribe, like. See you guys. Thank you.